schedule. Should we continue this way, we should have 5 to 10 minutes for general questions to all three speakers. Thank you.
Okay.
Our next speaker is Ivica Matotek from CARNet node in Osijek. He's in charge of regional node, which is quite a number of activities, supporting organizations and running the infrastructure. But also he has been in charge of CARNet's WebCT service for the whole academic and scientific community, which means that educators throughout the community can use the server without the hurdle of running software, updating versions, getting rid of bugs. So this is the service. One of the steps aiming at increasing the number of users and increasing the usage of such tools in the community. Please.
Hi, my name is Ivica Matotek, and I'm representative of CARNet. I will give you a presentation of WebCT usage in deploying quiz assignment. First, I'd like to introduce the WebCT tool. It's a web courseware tool. Its development started at University of British Columbia in Toronto, Canada in 1995. But very soon it grew up the university boundaries as a project, and development continued through private company in 1997. Until today, it's been using in over 80 countries and 2,200 institutions worldwide, and it's de facto standard for e-learning in higher education. We don't have yet Croatian translation now, but we will hope to have it soon. In CARNet, we started using it in 1999 with cooperation, with partnership with University Computing Center SCE at Zagreb. Until today, in 2003, we have over 50 courses with over 1,000 students. In some of courses we use in quiz, that's 10 courses, and one is especially interesting, one course is especially interesting because it has a free access for all our students who attend our classes. And it's used for screening the knowledge of students before they get to class and after class. There is no obligation for this course, but results are very good. And until now, we managed to have 10 training for our designers all over the country. I would like to say something about WebCT Quiz. There are two types of quiz. First is self-test. There is no evaluation, there is no record of self-test for the designers. It's only used for students to check out their knowledge and their adaptation of the materials, how did they learn at class and how did they learn from materials. And the second one is the regular quiz, where all the students' scores are tracked and all the questions they kept the statistics and everything. So in this other type of quiz, I will talk in the next 10-15 minutes. One of the great advantages of this type of quiz is that there is no heart in computer scoring the quiz, because computer almost instantly said to students you got wrong or you did right, and you cannot, when you write the question, when the students answer it, you cannot clarify the question for the students, so you have to be very careful about to create clear and understanding question and answer. One of the most important things about the quizzes, there are feedbacks. You can give feedbacks for all the questions and all the answers, and you can give this feedback right away after the quiz has been taken and all the scores are all the results are scored. it's very easy to create a new quiz, and because every question, when you have it in the WebCT, you can use it how many times you want. One of the great disadvantages, like in every new job, there is lots of time to create a large database of questions, and you need a large database of questions to minimize the cheating. If you have a large question, you can give each student his own quiz and so on. And one of disadvantages is quality of question. If you do not write very quality questions, some students can misinterpret, and you can get wrong answers because the student did not understand the questions. And of course, technical problems, they always appear when you have an online tool like WebCT. Everything is online, the quiz is online, your students have to be online to take the quiz, and you depend on the internet provider, you depend on electric power, you depend on lots of things. In our experience, we started to use quiz in 2001 and 2002 for 3 groups of students, for 40 students in each group. We have only a very small database of questions, so we didn't take the grade from this type of quiz. We didn't take it as a final grade. We take it only 30% of the final grade to be this type of question. Other 70% was determined by other assignments outside the WebCT. And we used only 2 types of questions out of 5. There is in WebCT we used only matching pairs and multiple choice question. In 2003 we created with our partners 22 quizzes, and 155 students passed through this quiz with mean average grade was 51%. One of the greatest problems we encountered is to manual input of question. First, you have to create the questions, you have to create the answers. You need to create lots of questions and lots of answers, and you need to create smart answers. And when you create the questions, there are 2 ways to create it in WebCT. First is manually type the question in WebCT. This is the hard one. And easier one is to create the question in some other tools, like Microsoft Word or some text-based tools. Then transfer it to WebCT. But we encountered with problems with Croatian character set, and because the Microsoft Word use different character set than the WebCT used. Microsoft used Win 1250, and WebCT used UTF-8. So we have to first convert the questions from Microsoft Win 1250 to UTF-8, then through one tool WebCT called coolgenius.com. It's online tool that's used to convert the questions from text-based question to special format that WebCT used. Then after that, we have to upload it to WebCT and to receive the question. It was very difficult and a very big job for us, but we managed to create this question and this quiz. And once you have a question in WebCT, you can use it how many times you want in whatever quiz you want and everything. One of the problems was mistakes in questions. If you accidentally say that the right answer is the wrong one and the wrong answer is the right one, you can receive, the student can complain, and they can give you feedback that something is wrong, or you can check out some of the question statistics. This is one of the statistical table in WebCT. There are lots of manual. You can get statistic about almost everything, about each student, about question, about quiz. This is interesting table. In first column, you have a title of the question, and if you look at this, if you click on this magnifying glass, you can preview the question and to see what this question is all about. The next column is the number of times this question was answered. The next, not how many times it was accessed, but the number of times it was answered. The next column is divided in three parts. First part is the what's the percentage of the whole group was answered correctly to this question. The second is how many of the students from upper 25% answered correctly to this question. The third one is how many students from lower 25% of total score or this quiz score answered correctly to this question. Discrimination, the next column, is the number who tell us how well relates high score versus low score. For instance, if you have students in higher score in total quiz, in upper 25%, they answer correctly to this question, you will get positive discrimination. If you have students from lower 25% answer correctly to this question, more students from 25% than from upper 25% answer correctly to this question, you will have a negative discrimination. Most usually is to have a 0 to be almost equal from the better student and the lower student. The next column is score. The mean is the average score for that score for that question. And the last one is the standard deviation of result of the total average of the total average score of the students. And you can easily see that first question is everything is looking okay. Everybody answered to this question correctly. The second question that we can see that only two-thirds of students answered to this question correctly. And but the third question, we see that only 25% of the students answered to this question correctly, and we have a negative discrimination. When we look at more thoroughly to this question, we can see the question name of the title of the question itself, and the answers. And in the lower part, we have a summary for that question. First row, it says us how many times this question was accessed, but there was no answer. The student did not answer to this question. 6, it's very large percent of the students did not answer to this question correctly, so we can assume that something is wrong with this question. The second row tell us how many students take the first answer to be correct for this question, and we say this is the correct one. The third row says us how many students take the second answer to be correct for this question. There is none. And the fourth column tells us how many students take the third answer to be correct. But we said it's not correct, but if you can see the question, the third one was correct answer, and you have, in WebCT, you have ability to manually override the grade for each question and each quiz, so we did it and give students feedback why this was a mistake and why did we manually override their grade. This is table about quiz statistics. The two previous one was about question statistics. This is quiz statistic, one of the tables that we can create for the quiz statistics. In the first column, we have a first name of the students. Then the second column is the number of times this quiz was accessed. If you allow your students multiple access, you will have multiple, something more than one. mean average score of all the time this quiz was accessed by this student. And standard deviation results from the average score of the quiz. This number is not calculated if students only one access to quiz and only one answer to the quiz, not the question, to the whole quiz. And you can see that 80% was for this quiz was average grade. One of the greatest reservations from our designers, it was cheating and how to prevent cheating in online exams. Well, in one research from New Zealand, they conducted research in regular class, and they found 21 ways to cheat in regular class, normal class, not online exams. From serious to minor cheating, but there were 21 ways, and they asked the students how did they feel about it, and about more than 80% admitted that they're doing dishonest things during their exams in regular classrooms. In online exams like WebCT, you can prevent like problems like looking in books and online search with some limited time of question. For instance, if you have 50 questions and you give students 50 minutes to take the quiz, there is no time for them to find answers in book or do the online research because they will not finish on time. Or asking another person taking the quiz, copy from another person. You can solve this or limit this by large database of questions, different questions for each student. For instance, you have in WebCT ability to give different question for each student. The order of the question, order of the answer can be different from each student. And when the students try to signalize one to another right answer for the question number one, question number one for one student will not be the same as the question number one for the other student. Time of access. To prevent that another person taking the quiz, for instance, that one person log on like another, first he solved his quiz, then he log on like another person, then he log on as a third person. You limit the time of access to the quiz. You say that the quiz should be taken in 2 hours. The duration of quiz can be, I don't know, half an hour, but in 2 hours you have to log on and take the quiz. So you will create very difficult for the student to log on as another person. And personal password and limitation on IP based can be used if you have some computer facilities, like university facilities like computer room, where students can come and take the quiz and can be supervised by university faculty staff. And you limit only to this room, in this particular hours, you can take the quiz. This can be very useful. These are the settings that you can create for each quiz. For instance, you can create delivery. You can deliver all the questions at once, or you can deliver only one question at a time, or you can deliver only one question at a time, but not allow students to go back to the previous question. Just he can go forward until he finished, not allowing him to go back. You can allow quiz duration. I don't know how many minutes, hours, whatever you want. You can allow. You can limit the attempts allowed. You can limit to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unlimited, if you want to do this. And you can separation attempts. You can limit it. For instance, you don't want to allow students to log on to quiz, take it, and right away take another and another and another. So you have ability to do this. Availability. like I said previously, you can create a quiz and say that it should be allowed access in one day, particular day, in what year, in what hour, and everything. You can create a quiz to be access allowed in, I don't know, 6 months ahead, or you can allow it now. And availability until the particular date. You can do it the same date, the hours, whatever you want. This date, this time is the server time. So if you have a student from different time zones, different continents, you should warn them that this time is the server time. So you should be familiar with where your WebCT server is located. Next, sorry. You can release the question, you can release the quiz on some criteria you selected. You can select it to one student, one group of students. You can release quiz to some selected other criteria. For instance, if you have a quiz and you want to release this quiz after the previous one has been taken, you can do it by this, or release it to some students who had a very good score in previous quiz. You can give them another quiz, or if they have a very bright score at previous quiz, you can give them some other quiz. The security, you can put another special protected password to access to this quiz, and IP limitation. Submissions after the quiz has been taken. This is the message that will appear to students. I will advise you to write, for instance, when the scores for this quiz will be available, or some other type of information, or where to come to see the scores if you do not release the scores right away. And you can send quizzes, answers to some email, whatever you want, to some designers or teaching assistant, whatever you want, who correct the quiz. This section is talking about the scoring release. You can select to release the score right away when the quiz has ended, when the students send the quiz, or you want to release the score when everybody ends the quiz, or you want to release when you want. When you first see the quiz, you grade it, and then you release the scores to the students. Or you don't want to release the scores. Just keep it for yourself. And display of the results, you can select, do you want to display the whole questions, whole answer, the right one, the wrong one, all the feedback, whatever you want. Or you don't want to release anything. If you do not have a computer facility in your university or faculty, it is very important to establish help desk, because you will have a problem with divert time in quiz accessing. If students access the quiz from their homes in, I don't know, in diverse times of hours, you cannot help them. So you will have a problem with this, but one of the solutions is good pre-quiz instructions. If you create good pre-quiz instruction and instruct students to read it, and a couple of times repeat it, then I think you can solve some of these problems. Different knowledge in information technologies, students come from different backgrounds, so it can be a problem, but I think that with good pre-quiz instruction can be solution for this. Connectivity, like I said previously, everything is online, and we depend on internet service providers and electrical power and lots of things. Our biggest success are our students. This is the quotation from one of our students. She was very delighted about the taking quiz on this way, and I like to point out only one sentence: we are approaching the West. She said it. Recommendation: large database of questions, smart answers, careful selection of quiz settings. I didn't say smart question, I said smart answers. Because you don't want to allow students to pick the right answer by rejecting the wrong answer. So you need to be careful about this. Creation good feedback, pre-quiz instruction, and continuous checking of students' feedback. Feedback should be positive, can be negative. Positive is a reinforcer, so you can motivate the students to do more work, but in negative you should be careful about, because it's lead to escape, avoidance, and denial. References and questions. If anybody has any question.
Thank you. Any questions? One question that, okay, please.
Odran Jureković, Vern Zagreb. When you input the questions for the quiz, can you input the level of difficulty of that question? So I want to put the quiz, let's say, 20% is hard questions, 40% is medium hard, and rest is easy. Can you do that in this solution?
For each question, for each quiz, you select how many points this question takes. So you can say in this quiz, this question has 10 points. And in total, you will see it.
One question that crosses my mind, based on this experience of the courses you already have on the server, what would you say, which is the single most important obstacle to the teachers, to educators, to embark on this, to start using, or when they start using, when they decide that they want to use online quizzes like this one, what is the biggest problem in their work? And the same thing goes for students. When they take quizzes, what would be the single most important problem they have?
Well, for our teachers, our designers, I think the most important, most difficult thing is to create large database of questions. It's very difficult to create large database and answers, to create answers. Because in my experience, all the teachers have only questions. If they have a question, they have only question. They don't have any answers to that question. So it is, I think that's the most difficult. And for the students, it's because it's unfamiliarity about the information technology and this kind of testing. I don't, maybe there are not every student has a computer at home, and they are not used to information technology and computers and everything, and I think that can be more difficult for them.
Thank you. I thank the speaker. Our next speaker is Piero Castoldi. Piero Castoldi holds a PhD in information engineering and is currently an associate professor at telecommunications at Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna Pisa. He is also affiliated to the National Inter-University Consortium for Telecommunications as a project manager. And Mr. Castoldi will talk about the Mythos project, an interesting adventure.